Hi, everyone. Welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. Today's date is Saturday, July 23rd, 2022. And I hope you'll indulge me just for a minute. I'd like to tell you a personal story from my teaching days before we get into the tarot read for tonight. My last full year of teaching, I had a student who really touched my heart with a very simple request. He was trying to illustrate a story he'd written, and he asked me to help him find some way to get the color of his skin accurately portrayed on his paper because the crayons didn't work for him, the ones that were available. Well, he broke my heart, but we figured something out and shaded in some light brown that was a pretty close. He was happy with the product. And I said right there, I was never going to have a student need to ask for teacher help again to color in a self-portrait. So my town's not that big. It was a Friday. When I got out of school that night, I went to every spot that sold art supplies and tried to find some multicultural crayons, which are now pretty common. But I can tell you the exact date this happened because the next day I went to Amazon and I found what I was looking for. So September 22nd of 2018, I bought a box of multicultural crayons and I was happy to add those to my class supplies for kids to use. And I was very thankful that Crayola had done that because it was timely, it was needed, it was compassionate. And so happily spent my money on that product. Now, as any teacher can tell you if you just take the time to ask them, we buy a lot of school supplies. You would be amazed at how few parents even attempt to do that. Even ones that can afford other discretionary items, they know that teachers have a big heart. They think we've got big supply cabinets, and I guess they don't worry about how they get filled. So we buy lots of school supplies. In fact, this is my first year not buying any this fall because I'm not even going back to part-time teaching. So today, as I was looking at news and going here and there on the internet, I found something, and to me, it was a little disappointing. I'll share it with you. Crayola has decided to virtue signal. They've got a transgender model wearing a chain link bra. Oh, that's appropriate. Over clothing to virtue signal about diversity. Now, if it's diversity of skin tones, hey, I'm on board. If it's diversity of gender choice, lifestyle, whatever, that has nothing to do with elementary art supplies to me. And I think there may end up being a consumer backlash, similar to what Disney, Netflix, and others that have virtue signaled beyond their market targets have experienced. So let's ask the cards tonight. And my question is going to be, is Crayola going to be experiencing some consumer backlash for this move? And is there anything else the universe wants us to know about Crayola crayons? Crayola products. Let's see what the universe has to say. Our first card, 5 of Wands. The Moon. The Sun. 9 of Swords. 5 of Cups. The Chariot. Judgment. So our question was, is there going to be a consumer backlash? And What else does the universe want us to know about Crayola Crayons and Company? And oh yeah, there's going to be a backlash like you wouldn't believe. They are facing some big losses as a result of going woke in to an area that has nothing to do with diverse color, which, you know, like I said, that's fabulous that they were doing that. I'm fully supportive of that. Now, in the recent past, we have the sun, and the sun always has a childlike energy to it. So in the past, Crayola has been very creative and child-centered in their products and what they do. Now, this move to go with this ad campaign and expanding their horizons into the political arena has not been one that was universally accepted within the company parameters. So I don't know who's in charge of that. If it's someone new at the helm and is making these pitches and these advices, they may want to think twice before proceeding down this road a little farther. Because again, here's a card of loss that's coming up for their near future. They are definitely going to lose some of their market share. Definitely, definitely. So the Chariot is often about events and moving, and can also be, it's very interesting to see a major arcana on both sides of our lost card here, because we have the Judgment one saying, you know, kind of like, well, what did they expect? And we have the Chariot here, which I think often represents parents and parental love and energy happening here, you know, when we're worried about the children. So they are going to have some losses. Now, let's see if there's a little more to note about this story. And like I said, it looks like this decision to go this route wasn't universally accepted. They had a lot of sleepless nights about that, and they should have. I mean, listen to I keep telling people that listen to this, listen to your emotional intelligence. Well, that goes for people in business too. If it seems like it might not be a good idea, stop and think about it a little more, pray, give it some thought, do some analysis that's outside the big city. Okay, Ace of Cups is a creativity card, and Crayola's premise was about providing quality products for creative efforts, especially for younger children, although they have gotten into, you know, the art supplies for older people too. And yeah, they've let themselves get tempted and going down a path that they are definitely going to be regretting financially, at least for the coming foreseeable future. So based on that, and as a teacher who bought school supplies for 28 years, on top of all the years I was doing it as a parent, second up on school supplies is Rose Art. If anybody knows Rose Art, tell them to get ready to put in some overtime, get some more product out there, and especially to include some multicultural shades in what they offer. And I've got a feeling that they could have a bigger place in the market than they've had in the past. Or go to your dollar store, check out off brands and what have you. And we can, as consumers, when a company makes a virtue signal, consumers have the right to make a consumer signal too. And according to what I'm seeing here, it's really going to come down on them. And maybe that's the way it should be. Because I want to buy supplies for children, and I think parents should have the right to decide when difficult topics are introduced and to what extent. And those conversations don't need to be poked and prodded into their lives until they're ready for them. That's it for me for this read. Yeah, you got a lot of Laura's view in this too. I'm sorry about that. But that's why it's not simply tarot, it's Laura's view in tarot too. Thank you so much for listening. I do appreciate your time, it's precious. And you chose to spend some with me, and I value that very, very much. Quick reminder, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. my time, 11 Pacific, 12 Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 o'clock Eastern, and 7 p.m. in London, we're going to be doing a meditation. It'll be via live stream if everything works out, and we've done a couple test runs, so I think we've got some of the bugs worked out. And we will work before we do our meditation to make sure that our intentions are clear, that we have asked for protection for both the energy we're offering, and for ourselves, and for those we offer it to. So join me if you'd like, and participate if you'd like. And just be aware, if you don't show up with positive intentions, we're going to ask that whatever intention that's not positive just goes back to the person sending it out. So kind of goes back to that. It's the spiritual equivalent of be careful what you ask for. We're going to be very careful what we ask for. And I look forward to all of you being there. Thank you so much. Have a great night.